What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Scuttlebutt with Ivy's Family Factotum. So, what had happened was, I'm going to go ahead and share that out here because got the house. House is here. And I'm sharing it out here because, for one, we can't be like officially turned over with this thing yet, right? Until this thing is connected to power, connected to sewer, and connected to water. Basically all of the things that are supposed to be connected to, right? And we're working towards that. They're not even done with it, right? They still have trim work to do. And I was coming over here, I was looking at stuff, right, getting my power and stuff situated because we already have electricity, all that stuff's done, and that's where I left it. That's why I was like, where do I put my coffee? That's what I was looking for. But yeah, so I came over here, I was checking sewer. So sewer's on the backside, right? So if we come down here, kind of like where I have my level sitting there. So sewer comes out just on the other side of the frame. And then there's another one down there, right? That comes, so there's two bathrooms. There's a bathroom down there, and then there's a bathroom here. And then they all come, basically, I need to connect that pipe down there all the way down here to this one. So that means that pipe down there has to slope down this way. This pipe's going to have to come down some and then go out that way to the front. And from where our tank is, so let me come back over here to the front and kind of show y'all. And I don't want to have to edit this. I want to be able to upload it straight from my phone. So I can't really flip the camera around. So if you see, our tank is right here, okay? So from the back side of the house to where it would come out right here, basically at this stake. Well, the very bottom of the house is here. So that's, yeah. And even having the pipe at the very bottom of the house on the back side, right? So like I said, that pipe is right at just the other side of the frame on the back side of the house. And it's basically here, right? The same thing, the same frame, right? They're both, obviously the whole house is level. So, I already know that it has to drop. So from that side of the house to this side of the house, it has to drop down like an inch roughly, to get the amount of slope that it needs going from that one pipe to the other pipe. And then it would come in basically Y out to come this way for everything coming out, right? So at that point, it's going to have to go from the back of the house all the way to the septic tank, 95 feet. So 95 feet is almost 1 foot. It was 11 inches, like 11 and 7/8, right? So that's basically a foot. Well, this line right here is the top of the pipe to that tank. So if you see the difference between those 2.5 inches. So what that means is I need a foot of drop, and I only have 2.5 inches. So that's a problem. That means poop can't go uphill. I mean, it can if you have a macerator pump and all those things, right? Added expense. So this tank, we don't even know how old it is. So if it was only like a year old, yeah, we could probably, go ahead and dig it up and move it. But we've had this property for almost 2 years. Has it been 2 years? Has it really been 2 years? Well, I know we've been in Arkansas about 2 years. So we've had this property almost 2 years. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like it. But anyway, with that being said, this tank, we didn't even know it was on the property, right? Because it wasn't on any paperwork of the land, the house that used to sit there, right? We didn't even know septic was here. So with that being said, I don't know how old that tank is. And I called the company of who installed that tank, because they're still here somewhat locally, all right, a few towns over. And they had said, yeah, if it's at least, over a few years old, they only recommended like anything over 2 years, it's not recommended to even dig up. Right? I'm like, all right. So I know that's definitely older than 2. So at that point, now we're looking at getting another tank, and we would need it to come somewhere in here, right? That way it's coming downhill. It's a little closer to the house. Obviously not here, because we want to be able to do a fire pit right here. And there's obviously that big stump that we're going to put a fire pit in. That way, for one, kind of help get rid of that stump. And 2, I'm not going to be putting anything else right there because there's a stump right there, right? So, but I think if the tank comes over here in this area, that's fine, because we still want to put, it's because we have a seasonal creek, right? Seasonal creek comes through the property. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing a modified mound system, because modified mound system doesn't have to be up as high as a traditional mound, because we already have 2, almost 3 feet worth of permeable ground, right, before it hits water table. But with a seasonal creek, we have to stay at least 50 feet away from that to do a mound system or a modified mound system. But if we were doing leach lines, it has to stay 100 feet away. Well, 100 feet away is up here by this stump, right? And that's basically would stay right here at the house, or going that way. And if we're going that way, where all the stuff is, right? Well, we want to put gardens here. So this is areas that's all going to be garden. We don't necessarily want a leach field going right there, because then you can't do garden, right? You can have grass. We can have a yard, but I don't want that, right? So, yeah. So we are actually coming down here. That way we can be closer to the creek, 50 feet away, and we're going to do a modified mound. So modified mound systems, you need a minimum of 1,000 square feet of permeable ground, right? Recommended it's like 1,000 to 5,000, depending on what you're doing, right? Well, if I have an area that's a 15, so like a 15 feet by 50 feet is what we have marked out. So a 15 by 50, that's what, 750 square feet, roughly. Well, if I already have 2 feet of ground that can soak up the effluent, right? It's not even sewage, it's just effluent water. So that's 750 plus 750. Okay. So that's 1,500. And then put another 2 feet. So that's an additional 1,500. So now I'm at 3,000. That's 3,000 square feet of dirt that would soak up the effluent. So that's well within the 1,000 minimum to 5,000, right, required. So, and where we live, right, because since we're over 25 acres, we don't even require a permit to do septic. So we can have, a guys come out and dig it up and stuff. But if I buy the tank myself, and then, obviously I don't have a way of digging that, I would have to call up on, the fam bam, the folks here within the community that have backhoes, right? So either Drew would have to borrow, that backhoe that he sold, even though he still has it at his property, or I'd have to call up Gary Gumby, right, to come over, which he's already said, yeah, either one of them are perfectly fine with coming to help, as long as I'm paying for the way to get the vehicle here, the tractor here, because it's kind of far. I mean, obviously, Gumby's a lot further away, so that would actually require trailering. Drew is a lot closer. I mean, it's just right down the road, but still from his property to my property, driving a tractor, that's a lot of wear and tear on tires, and it's a lot of diesel just to get here, right? So paying for the fuel to operate, paying for the means of getting the equipment here, right? So I already know that's what, a couple $100 to get it here, and then probably a couple $100 worth of fuel, right? And then be able to dig up the hole and buy the septic tank. Well, the septic tank, I can get one from Home Depot for, it's like $1,800, right? Yes, I can get another tank like this one for $1,100, but the difference is, if I buy this, I have to come up with the cash. If I go to the tank from Home Depot, I can go ahead and put that, because I have a charge. I hate having to put stuff on a charge card, right? We would prefer to just pay outright without having to do that, but we don't have that available right now because we got this, right? And this is still it's going to be being paid monthly until next year, right? We're going to be able to pay this off next year, but that's not feasible right now. So we were not expecting this expense, and it's a very large expense that we were not expecting. So it kind of sucks. It sucks a lot. So we're gonna do with what we can. So that's what we're looking at right now. And electrical, right? The electrical stuff, the cabling that I had, the wire that I had, I thought was sufficient, but it's not. So we also have to get new service wire, and to get 50 feet of service wire coming in. So it's the 40404020 service wire, aluminum. I'm looking at, what is it, like $400, I think, altogether. So yeah, right now, service wire, I gotta get that too. So, and that's direct burial. That way I don't have to worry about conduit or anything like that, other than the conduit right here at the pole that goes to the ground. That way we don't have to look at the wire, right? It'll all be, in, which the wire that I'm looking to get is already in a PVC sleeve, right? So even if it's just coming straight out the bottom of the panel, it's fine. It's going to look nice. So technically I don't even need PVC, but I already have some conduit, right, that I can use for that. Not an issue. But the wire, I still have to buy the wire and a 200 amp breaker, because this panel over here, it actually has lugs at the very bottom of the panel that's like an extension. That way you can actually go from that panel to another panel with the same 200 amp service. This panel back here that we have, I thought it was the same way, but it's not. So this is a 200 amp panel, but it does not have the lugs to extend it. So, because I have to go from that panel to the panel inside the house, and to do that, I have to get another 200 amp breaker. Yeah, I didn't have that either. So now we got to get the service wire. I have to get the 200 amp breaker, and then we'll be good for power. So all these things are going to have to wait after the new year, because we were already planning on going to my mom and grandma's for Christmas. It's the last Christmas they're doing in that house. So duh, we're not going to miss it. So, wow. A whole bunch of crows, ravens, I don't know. Crows normally go together, not ravens. They look awfully big to be crows. Whole bunch of them. Wow. But anyway, that's what's going on, folks. So we are happy. We're excited. House is here. They'll be coming in next week to finish up with the trim work, getting our steps in, and doing all that. And then as we can continue to get the things that we need, we're going to do that. But we're also going to try to enjoy our Christmas and visit and have some time with family. So that's what it's all about, right? Family always comes first. So yeah. Anyway, I'll be able to reutilize a lot of that pipe here, since we need to get another tank. Yeah, I know, it is what it is. So that's good. We should be good for piping. I don't need to buy that. Just gotta buy another tank. So definitely thank you all for following in on our journey, helping us grow, sharing us out. It's greatly appreciated. House is here. It is almost ready to get moved in. We just got to get a few more things. But all right, y'all. Definitely get out there, think of veteran every chance you get. Not only on Veterans Day. We'll see you on the next one. Later, y'all.